Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, your life just doesn't improve? Like you're trapped in the same place year after year? Today's story will show you that your life changes the moment your mindset changes. It's a story of a poor tailor who discovered that the key to success was never in his hands, but in his mind. Stay with me till the end, because this might be the shift you've been waiting for. Once, in a small town in India, lived a man named Ramesh. Ramesh was a tailor. He worked in a tiny shop at the corner of a busy street. The shop was old, the paint had peeled off the walls, and the sewing machine made a loud clicking sound with every stitch. Ramesh was not lazy. Every morning, before the sun came up, he would open his shop. He worked for hours, sewing clothes for his customers. But even after years of hard work, he earned barely enough to feed his family some days. He couldn't even afford dal and vegetables for dinner. His children wore old clothes, and his wife Sita often had to patch them over and over again. Life felt heavy. Ramesh often looked across the street where a big clothing store stood. It was bright, new, and always full of customers. The owner, Mr. Arvind, drove a shiny car and seemed to live without any worry. One evening, after closing his shop, Ramesh walked home with a tired heart. He thought, why is my life like this? I work so hard, but nothing changes. Maybe I am just unlucky. Maybe I am destined to be poor forever. Those thoughts became his constant companion. Every day, he told himself, I can't do better. I don't have the money. I don't have the skills. I am just a small tailor. And as the days passed, his shop grew emptier, not because people didn't need clothes, but because Ramesh had already decided in his mind that he couldn't succeed. One afternoon, as Ramesh was sewing, an old man entered his shop. He wore simple clothes, but his eyes were sharp and full of kindness. Namaste, Ramesh, the old man greeted. Namaste, uncle, Ramesh replied. What can I do for you, sir? The old man smiled. I don't need clothes stitched today. I came to ask you something. Ramesh was confused. Ask me? Yes, the old man said softly. Why do you always look defeated? Your shoulders are bent, your face is tired, but your eyes tell me you still have dreams. So why do you live like you have already lost? Ramesh was silent. No one had ever asked him that before. After a pause, he said, Sir, I work hard every day, but I earn so little. My shop is small. My tools are old. I can never be like the big shop owners. Life has given me nothing. The old man leaned closer. Life has given you everything you need. A pair of hands, a skill, and a mind. But you have locked your mind in a cage, and as long as it stays locked, nothing will change. Ramesh frowned. I don't understand. The old man's voice grew gentle, yet powerful. Listen carefully. The world doesn't change until you change the way you see yourself. If you think you are small, you will remain small. If you think you have no value, others will see no value in you. But if you believe, even for a moment, that you can grow, you will find a way to grow. Ramesh shook his head. But I have no money to expand. No fancy shop. No helpers. The old man smiled. You are still thinking about what you don't have. Start thinking about what you do have and how you can make it better. Change your thoughts, and your life will change. And with that, the old man placed a single gold coin on Ramesh's table. This is not charity, he said. This is a reminder that value can be created from even the smallest thing, if you have the right mindset. Before Ramesh could ask his name, the old man walked out of the shop and disappeared into the crowd. That night, Ramesh couldn't sleep. The old man's words echoed in his mind. Change your thoughts, and your life will change. He looked at his tiny shop, the worn-out sewing machine, the pile of cloth in the corner. For the first time, instead of seeing problems, he began to see possibilities. What if I use brighter cloth for my displays? What if I design something unique that no other shop sells? What if I stop waiting for customers and start going to them? The next morning, Ramesh woke up with a strange energy. He took some old fabric scraps and made colorful cushion covers. He placed them outside his shop, where passers-by could see them. By noon, he had sold 3. The customers smiled and asked if he had more. The following day, Ramesh made small embroidered handkerchiefs. He stitched patterns that told little stories. A peacock dancing in the rain, a child flying a kite, a mother holding her baby. People began stopping just to see his work. They told others, and slowly, Ramesh's shop was no longer empty. Every evening, Ramesh would think, what new thing can I create tomorrow? And with each idea, his confidence grew. Months passed. Ramesh's shop, once dull and lifeless, was now full of color and creativity. He saved enough money to buy a new sewing machine. He painted the walls and added a bright sign, Ramesh's Creative Stitches. One morning, as he was arranging his work, a familiar voice spoke from the doorway. Namaste, Ramesh. Ramesh looked up and his heart skipped a beat. It was the old man. Namaste, uncle, Ramesh said with a wide smile. Please, come in. I have been waiting to see you again. The old man looked around and nodded approvingly. This is not the same shop I saw before, and you are not the same man. Ramesh's voice trembled with gratitude. Sir, you were right. The day I changed my thoughts, my life began to change. I stopped telling myself that I am just a poor tailor. I started telling myself, I am a creator, I am a businessman, and now I have customers from across the city. The old man's eyes softened. Remember, Ramesh, the sewing machine was always in your hands, but the real power was in your mind, and you unlocked it. Ramesh offered him a finely stitched kurta as a gift. This is my way of saying thank you. The old man accepted it and smiled. I didn't give you money that day. I gave you a new way to see yourself, and that will serve you for a lifetime. As the old man left, Ramesh